All right, testing sound, testing. How's the sound? Can everybody hear me? No? Turn that up. Let's turn that up. All right. I'll talk a little louder. Let's see. Turn it up. Can you hear me okay? All right, guys, can everyone hear me okay? Folks in the back, up in the top, everybody, can you hear okay?
Can you hear?
Good, okay. Thumbs up, thumbs down, can you hear? So. We have turned it up. Let's turn it up.
Turn it up. Get some more depth.
Turn it up.
I can hear real good.
All right, guys, I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to talk real loud so you can hear okay. Well, folks, welcome to the first ever ProCon at the Pier. It's the return of civil discourse. All right, hey. For the folks who are here, I just got a few questions for you, and you can respond by raising your hand. What I want to know is, you ever avoid talking about politics with your friends because you think no good's going to come of it? Anybody? Yeah, okay. I relate to that. How about not watch the news source of the politics you disagree with? So if you're a Fox News person, you're conservative, you don't watch MSNBC, or if you're on the left, you never watch Fox News. How many of you do that? Sure. We all do that, right? We all do that. Well, you know what the problem is when we all do that? We end up in our own thought bubbles, and that's the problem. What we end up doing is isolating ourselves on purpose. We end up surrounding ourselves with like-minded ideologies, and we forget that people who have different points of view might just have a different point of view and not be bad people. So what we're doing today, in conjunction with the Santa Monica Pier, the historic pier, 130-year-old pier, is trying to change that. This is the return to civil discourse. So we're going to try to disagree without being disagreeable. I'm here with ProCon.org. We're an organization that serves about 25 million people with pro and con research on controversial issues. It's free. It's been around for 12 years. Pier has obviously been around quite a bit longer than we have. This is a perfect marriage of the digital age and historic Santa Monica so that we can educate people about issues for the 4 next Tuesdays prior to the election. What we're trying to do today is bring light to issues, not heat. And today's GMOs. Next week is going to be great. It's on the death penalty with some really high-profile speakers. Following week, it's about college affordability. And our last week's about marijuana. We have a few folks from the media that are here today. We're filming this event on Facebook. We're also video recording this event for uploading on the internet. So this is your chance at celebrity.
What's your hashtag?
We don't have a hashtag, but you can use, but you can make one up and it's going to be great. Let's do ProCon at the Pier. Thank you for that. So folks, let me introduce our topic today, and I'll introduce our speakers and we'll get going. So let me just say this. We all know nature has a lot of mysteries. One of the things that is not a mystery is that tomatoes don't have sex with fish. And yet a tomato was developed that has the genes from the winter flounder to help the tomato plant be more resistant to frost. Is that progress to ensure more food is more available to more people? Or is it an inappropriate manipulation of nature that may have unintended consequences? Scientific American magazine reports that about 1/10 of the world's nature or cropland includes genetically modified plants. About 1/10. 4 countries, United States, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, they grow 90% of the planet's genetically modified crops. 92% of all the corn and soy grown here in the United States is engineered to ward off insects or resist weed-killing herbicides. Now, 8 nations in the European Union have banned genetically modified crops. In Africa, where millions are going hungry, several nations have refused to import genetically modified foods. Kenya has banned them altogether amid their nation's widespread malnutrition. Now, in California here, you might remember Proposition 37. This was in 2012. Dave here is one of the co-sponsors. It was an effort to label genetically modified foods here in California. Our local Whole Foods, right, the one on 5th and Wilshire, they said they're going to label all genetically modified foods starting in 2017. Now, Prop 37 was our introduction to genetically modified foods here locally. 6 million people voted on that ballot measure. We still have a lot of questions about this issue, and we're here to answer those questions. We are very lucky today, folks. We have some really top experts here to help us understand GMOs, what's good or bad about them, and help us think through these issues. We've got kids to feed. We've got a lot of concerns about this stuff. We just want to know what's true, what's not, and help us identify how to think about this for ourselves without bias, without manipulation. Just give us some good information so we can educate ourselves. This, folks, is not the Thanksgiving table. This is the coffee talk. This is that time where we're being really open and honest with each other. The two folks who are here, they come from opposites on the political spectrum on this issue. But today they're here to do what we're here to do, return to civil discourse. We're going to talk about this nicely. We want to demonstrate it's possible to disagree without being disagreeable. It's not going to be easy, but it's important, and we're going to show the world how to do it. So let's get to our discussion. First, to my left is Dr. Bob Goldberg. He has a bachelor's in botany from Ohio University. He has a master's and PhD degree from the University of Arizona. He did his postdoctoral fellowship at Caltech. Really smart guy. He's a member of the National Academy of Sciences. He went to UCLA. He teaches at UCLA. Not only does he teach there, but he's considered one of the top 20 professors ever in UCLA's history. In addition to that, he is one of the world's leading researchers on plant gene expression. And he's sitting right here, so close to you. We are very lucky to have him today, folks. Big hand for Bob Goldberg. Bob, I have a quick question for you before we get started. I heard there's a species of plant that's named after you. And I was curious if that plant has been genetically engineered.
That I'd be horrified. But I do have 22 million acres of canola plants in Canada with my genes in them. But they weren't named after me, fortunately.
With your genes,
I'd be embarrassed.
Or with something you designed?
No, it's something we designed.
wow, that's terrific. Thank you, Bob, and welcome. To my right, folks, Dave Murphy. Now, Dave has an AB in history. He went to Dartmouth University. He got his MFA in creative writing at Columbia. He's the founder and executive director of a group called Food Democracy Now! It's a grassroots movement of about 650,000 farmers and individuals who are dedicated to reforming policies related to food and agriculture. He's a 6th generation Iowan, former football star at Dartmouth University. He's editor of the Dartmouth Review. Grew up conservative, switched camps, now he's on the other side. He was a former research assistant at the Conservative American Enterprise Institute. In 2007, he organized the Food and Family Farm Presidential Summit. He got 5 of the 6 presidential candidates to pledge their support to help save family farm agriculture. He's one of the leading advocates for sustainable farm agriculture in the United States. And he's sitting right here, so close to you. Dave, thank you for being here. Dave, I got a question for you too. I read that you used to be a vegetarian, and then you discovered bacon. My question is, was it sustainably raised bacon?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was a vegetarian for 7 years, and then my mom snookered me back into the meat camp by handing me local beef jerky from one of my favorite beef jerky makers in Iowa. So that's how she got me back.
All right. Well, thank you, folks. You're in for a treat. So the format of our discussion today, Bob 3 minutes, Dave 3 minutes. Moderator-led discussion for about 15 minutes. Then it's your questions for however many minutes that they will let us keep doing this. Then we'll wrap it up, a minute, 2 minutes, and 2 minutes, and then we're done. We'll keep you here for about an hour total. So first off, for 3 minutes, where the speakers can say whatever they want, our question today is genetically modified food. Should we care? And to say, yes, we should care, we're going to start out with Mr. Dave Murphy. Dave, tell us why we should care. You got 3
Sure.
minutes.
Well, thank you very much. I'll just introduce myself real quick. You're right. I started a group. Mic's not on. Can we do that? How are we doing? Is it working now? Is it not working?
Let's just hold it up to your
Can you hear
mouth.
it? Can Can you hear it now? It's not working. I touched the button somewhere. Hello. Yes. I did touch a button, as they say. Well, listen, it's an honor to be here. This is very ironic that I'm invited to be in a debate of civil discourse, because I'm sure if you know that the last 5 years in the United States, we've had a very boisterous and heated conversation on the concept of genetic engineering. And I'll just say, you know, this conversation didn't happen because the political leaders in our country wanted to have it. It did not happen because food manufacturers wanted to have it. Basically, the conversation on GMOs and GMO labeling started because a dozen people sat down in a room in 2011, nonprofit leaders and some food manufacturers, organic companies, and they said, listen, it's absolutely outrageous that we're in the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave. The basic currency of a free market system is information. The basic currency of a democracy is information and transparency. We believe it's an outrage that our food is genetically engineered by corporations like Monsanto. Monsanto has a real bad history of producing very toxic chemicals, Agent Orange, DDT, and PCBs. These are not just chemicals that exist in our environment. Most likely PCBs and dioxin are in your own body. What we know from my background is history, so what we know from studying the corporate culture of Monsanto is that each time these chemicals were shown to prove serious harm to human health and the environment, and even Monsanto's own workers, they hid the science, they covered it up. And I'll just say, listen, genetic engineering is a very interesting idea.